What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over talking about the top shooting guards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, we've got, some shooting guards at all levels. We got a lot of, obviously, every one of the pink diamonds, I think. Hopefully, I didn't leave off anyone. Every one of the diamonds. We've even got some budget rubies, some sapphires on this list. So just a little bit of everything to balance it from S tier to F tier. Now, as I do dive into these things, really do appreciate all of the recent support on the channel. You guys are amazing. JxmyHighroller, A tier. Look, I've got JxmyHighroller. He shoots the ball incredibly well. Now, is he the elites of the elites at the shooting guard position? No, there are going to be better options for you guys, but JxmyHighroller is really solid, deserving of A tier. Julius Erving, the best shooting guard in the game right now. I don't think there's anybody better than Dr. J. I just don't. Like, with what he provides for us on the court, it's ridiculous. The problem with Dr. J is the fact that he's, 1.5 million coins? Okay, that might be an over-exaggeration, but the card is so expensive. That's the problem with Dr. J, but if you can get your hands on the card, he is an S-tier caliber option. Brandon Miller up next. I think I want to go B tier. I don't hate Brandon Miller. I know I left him off my top 10 list. Look, he's fine. He's going to shoot the ball well. He's going to do some things well. But I do think JxmyHighroll's the better option side by side compared to Brandon Miller. Michael Jordan at this stage. Look, I don't like Michael Jordan. But with as good as his defense is, you got to respect him a little bit. B tier probably for MJ. It's not a card that I necessarily would ever pick up, especially for his price. He's going to be way overpriced because he is a pink diamond, but the card is not worthless. Scottie Pippen, one of your best shooting guards in the entire game. He is S tier. Now, I will say this. Julius Erving is better than Scottie Pippen. However, both cards are deserving of S tier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Aaron Aflalo. I really like the release of Aaron Aflalo. The problem is the base card does not have the best badges. I think he's got bronze on Ball Menace. That's the problem with Aaron Aflalo. He's undersized as well, but his release is absolutely elite in my team. I'm not going to lie, Rip Hamilton, you're going C tier as well. It's crazy. That Richard Hamilton with his badges, which aren't that great, but they're way better than Aaron Aflalo's, is the same tier as Aaron Aflalo. To me, it just comes down to this. I've used both cards. I've only used Rip in shoot-around, so I can't say I've used him in Unlimited or anything. But I've used enough of Aflalo to realize, his release is so impactful. And so, I know Rip Hamilton probably, is the better card, but with Aflalo's base and his release, he's going C tier as well. Grant Hill, I'm going to go A tier. I think he's better than Brandon Miller. I think he's better than Michael Jordan. More importantly, he's 6'8". More importantly, defensively, he's going to be incredible, and he's going to be able to attack the rim. People sleep on Grant Hill, but the card can absolutely play still to this day. ML Carr, I'm going to go B tier for ML Carr. I do think JxmyHighroller has the slight edge. I do think Grant Hill is slightly better as well, but ML Carr can absolutely play on this game. Klay Thompson. Ooh, here's where things get really tough, because I do think Klay is closer to S tier than he is A tier. However, I don't know if I love Klay enough to compare him to Dr. J or Scottie Pippen. And so this is a really tough one for Klay Thompson. I think I want to go S tier with him, but he's at the lower end of S tier. Jason Richardson is a beast on this game, A tier. And it's more of an eye test thing. J Rich dunks the ball well. He shoots the ball well. He plays fine defense if you do badge him up. J Rich, A tier. Chris Mullin, here's the tough part. Mullin's better than... His release is just slow, though. I don't know, man. I do know what I'm going to do, actually. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to move everybody down and create a separate tier here. That's exactly what I'm going to do, because I think I've got to. I don't think I can have Chris Mullin at the same tier as Dr. J. I just don't. And I like Mullin, but they are not the same caliber of cards. You know who is a caliber of S tier? It is Paul George, one of your best shooting guards in the game. Genuinely, I know Dr. J gets a lot of hype. I'm a believer that Paul George is just as good as Dr. J. If you don't believe me, that's fine, but that's the belief that I personally have. Marquise Daniels, budget option. I'm going D tier. I really think he is a D tier card. I don't mind Marquise Daniels at all. I don't get why people, don't run the card. To me, he's just as good as a guy like Rip Hamilton. He might get moved down to F tier ultimately, but for budget cards, a really solid option. Corey Maggette, I'd be lying to say I've used the card. I really don't know exactly what Corey Maggette is going to get into in this game. I'm going to throw him at C tier just because I don't know, man. I don't know. So let me know your thoughts on Corey Maggette in the comments. I really don't know. He looks fine, but I don't know. Jimmy Buckets, another just one that splits where I want to go. Like, Jimmy Butler's on that verge. S tier, A tier. I don't know. I don't think you can really go wrong with this because I do think Jimmy Butler's a solid option. I don't know. And you guys can let me know where you'd have Jimmy down below in the comments because I really do not know for Jimmy Butler. I'm going to throw him at the top of A tier just because that release could be better. Ray Allen at this stage, I'm going to throw him at D tier. He's not the worst. The problem is he doesn't come with on-ball menace, so that, leaves some things to be desired. That's the problem with Ray Allen in my team. Ricky Pierce, 6'4". I'm going D tier. Doesn't do a whole lot of things on the court. D tier for Mr. Ricky Pierce. Andrew Wiggins is not D tier. Andrew Wiggins, same tier as Jason Richardson. And you can go back and forth on, I like, Andrew Wiggins more because of this. I like Jay Rich more because of this. Realistically, I think Jay Rich has the better release. I think Andrew Wiggins defensively is going to be better. And so, I don't think you can necessarily go wrong either way. Obviously, you're entitled to whoever you want to use or like more, but I think both cards are ultimately B tier. Isaiah Ryder, I'm going to go C tier. Another one of these diamond shooting guards that I'm just like okay, I don't love you, but you're obviously decent at the game. It's just tough. It's tough to really rank where are these cards at, especially where I haven't used a lot of them. Like Isaiah Ryder, I have not used the card, I don't think, on this game. Doug West, I've heard his release is good, but the card looks like dirt. He's got 10 base badges. He might have more, 14 base badges, but the card is not good. I'm throwing Doug West D tier. Drazen, I am not high on Drazen. I'll throw him at C tier. And I know there's going to be certain people out there, what, Ty? Drazen's okay. Look, use Drazen if you want to. I don't care. But for me, I don't think the card is good. I just don't. He does have a better release than he has in the past. But if you're using Drazen at this stage, I don't know what to tell you. Albert King, not the worst, D tier. Latrell Sprewell, C tier. Don't think Latrell is as good as Andrew Wiggins or Jason Richardson, but the card can still play. He's not bad. Still can play. Still can do some things on the floor for you guys. But I just don't want to compare him to Jay Rich or Andrew Wiggins. I want that gap to definitely be there. Raja Bell, still to this day, is one of the better shooting guards in the game. And I didn't expect him to be this high, but that's just the truth on where he's at. Shoots the ball really well, plays good defense, has one of the best leaners, maybe the best leaner in the entire game. Raja Bell is really good. DeRozan, I guess D tier. I really don't like DeRozan on this game, though. I contemplated putting him at F tier just because it's what does the card really do? Defensively, he's not great. His release isn't great. What is DeRozan really doing on this game? Manu Ginobili, you're F tier. I don't care. Don't want anybody to sit there and try to say anything. Manu is F tier. Joe Ingles is F tier. Sleepy Joe, look, your release is just horrible. It's just horrible. I've tried to use you. Your release is horrible. Korver, I'm going to go Korver at C tier. Korver's got his place in this game. Korver, he's going to be the best shooting guy in the game because his release is so good, so quick, and he can green anything. And so Korver has his place in the game. I don't necessarily love him, but there are certain people that use him, and he literally greens every shot in the game, especially if it's open. Brad Beal, I don't think it's the worst C tier. The problem with Bradley Beal is he's just undersized. Definitely don't hate the card. Brandon Roy, some people really like B-Roy. To me, I just think he's fine. I don't necessarily love him, but I do think he is C tier. Thabo Cephaloshin, you guys don't have to agree, but the card is B tier. That's gassing it. That's gassing. He's not better than Brandon Miller. He is C tier, though. Thabo can absolutely play. I'm moving Brandon Miller up. I don't like Brandon Miller at C tier. And honestly, I don't like Corey Maggette here either. I think both those cards are B tier. So I like that a little bit more. But I do want to emphasize, Thabo Cephalosha is good. If you want to run Thabo, you absolutely can. One of your best budget shooting guards in the entire game. Anthony Parker at this stage, D tier probably. Vince Carter at this stage, D tier probably. They can... Maybe Anthony Parker's up a tier. He can shoot the ball. But Vince, I just think, you got to badge him up a ton for him to be useful. Tracy McGrady at this stage, B tier. Look, I still do like a badged up T-Mac. I do. He's 6'8". Can play some defense, but it just comes down to post-patch, post-contest patch, T-Mac is so much less valuable. Christian Braun, F tier. I can only say so much about the card. He's just not good. Buddy Hield. Every time I play Buddy Hield, I lick my chops. D tier. KCP up last. He's fine, but he's still a B tier shooting guard. And that's the thing. To be an elite of the elite shooting guards, it's rare. And so S tier and A tier are occupied by the elites of the elites. To put it in perspective, I don't have an S or A tier shooting guard on my team. However, I think B tier guys can compete. T-Mac, KCP, Jack Marin, Graham, all these B tier guys can compete. C tier cards are on that verge of competing. D tier or lower, I'm like, cards I probably don't recommend. And if you're running an F tier shooting guard, it's time to move on and use somebody new. That's gonna wrap it up for our video. Let me know your thoughts on the tier list down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.